What's good, YouTube? Joelsfuneral. I'm coming at you guys with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. Today I have Peter Brown, who went undefeated today with what deck?
First place with Stardust Synchro deck.
Just Stardust
Yusei Synchro Summon deck from Dawn of Majesty.
Whoa, look at this dude.
Featuring the gas and the keys, and the gas and the keys and gas.
Yeah?
So, really, some cool innovations. This deck is not the best combo deck that is out there. Obviously, there are better ones that are a little more impervious to disruption. These hand traps are kind of fun. But I definitely built this deck in such a way that it plays through as many hand traps as possible. I definitely think it's like, you know, it's a cool thing to mess around with and kind of explore, because there are some aspects of this deck that are pretty interesting. Like Junk Speeder's insane, so obviously we're playing a Junk Speeder deck, and so
in the full,
have a look at it.
You're not in full cosplay today?
I'm not in full cosplay, although the other day I went 3-1 on Thursday. I had a Japanese 5D shirt, I had a signed Yusei playmat, I had my Stardust Field Center, Synchro sleeves, and Yusei extra deck sleeves. I was ready. Today was just casual, but still went 4-0, so pretty good. But 3-1 Thursday, so second place Thursday, then first place today. Pretty good. So
yeah, showing some pretty good results with it.
Yeah, so 3 of this Italy card that's very, very good. Obvious 3 of. You can play 2 of this optionally. I don't really think it particularly matters. I play 3 right now because it is really good with the rocket cards, which you can play, which is the spice. So that's fine. 2 Drunk Converter. I want to play a 3rd. Have not yet acquired it. I think 2 is also acceptable because it's such a cost to activate, and you definitely don't want to do more than one because it itself is not a tuner. It discards itself to add with a tuner to add a synchron. And it usually just adds Junk Synchron. Another card you could possibly play 3 of, but I think generally like. I would rather have this in a rocket, but this card is a much more streamlined way to kind of get Junk Synchron going, because this card by itself, like without Junk Converter already set up, doesn't combo. So the only time you'd ever want a 3rd one of these, generally, is if you want to change level with Excel Synchron, and this card can summon from grave, so like which is like really, really huge. That's why generally I think 2 is fine. Because you're definitely trying to streamline this as much as possible, because you minimize breaks as much as possible, allows you to play through disruption, so it's really good. The other Synchron targets for Junk Speeder are Cyber Synchron for Satellite Synchron. I think these are generally self-evident. This card's cool because it can protect your extra monsters from dying. This extends and this extends, so they're probably the better ones. I don't play Quick Draw Synchron. Quick Draws doesn't synchro anything relevant besides Zolkin. Zolkin's like kind of hard to activate, and you kind of have to give up so many things. So 2 cards. This card you have to play because it's part of the deck, even though this is timing. For some reason I don't know why they did that. This card is okay. I do play multiple targets for Stardust Synchro to search. I play Arrive in Light, and I play Stardust Illumination. I did want the extra target because if you draw this, you still want to be able to search off of Stardust Synchro. This is probably one of the better cards in the deck. And this card combos with Stardust Synchro really, really well. And I do play Chaos Ruler, which is, I think, a really good level 8 synchro you can summon that kind of gets your deck going and challenges a lot of hand traps. So because of that, I do play this, and it's a good card to send off this and with Force. I do think that this is like definitely one of the weaker cards in the deck, but I think that in general, being a level 4 that can summon itself in conjunction with Stardust Synchro is really, really strong. I don't know why they designed these cards the way they did. I feel like they are fairly weak. I don't know why this card missed timing. I understand, but like, I don't know. It's kind of annoying, but it's neat. So that is the Synchron cards. To go with them, we played the best extender in the game.
Dragon Link, let's go.
Kinda. No rocket tracer. The level 4 tuner. We don't play that card because I don't want to lock myself into Dark Dragons. Basically, this card is not once per turn extender that summons a level 1 non-tuner, a level 2 non-tuner, or a level 1 tuner. So when you go into combo, you want to be able to draw a level 1 extender in order to make the Cosmo Blazar, which is like the equivalent of the Quasar in this deck. And this card not being once per turn is really good, means you can't break on it, and it's just so good for playing through disruption too, because if your Drunk Speeder gets the other imperm, you can make Rocket Synchron and kind of try to make a play off that, which is actually fine. So really, I think every Synchron deck should play these cards. I think these cards are kind of silly. Quick launch is what makes it work. It just extends through so much. It baits a lot of stuff too. So really love that. The spice would be the Chaos cards. Chaos Base and Levineer and Wyverbuster Collapse. Okay. First of all, this card makes your deck be able to play against real decks because this card's broken. And basically most of my deck is dark and light. There are a lot more darks than lights, but it generally works out. These cards are really good because 1, they're extenders. 2, it lets you draw with Chaos Space, which is really good. It allows you to bait with Gamma, which is a card that I do play. And I think probably one of the key differences too, besides being level 4, which goes well with Stardust Synchron, and it goes well with Quick Launch, because Quick Launch can summon Rocket Chrome, which is a Synchron card, and this goes with this. Junk Speeder is, of course, the important card of the deck. It's what kind of makes the deck grow because it's soul charged to the deck. And these cards allow you to chain block a lot easier. Junk Converter does that as well, but it's good to have multiple ways to do that. Because you synchro summon Junk Speeder, Chainlink 1 Speeder, Chainlink 2 Collapse over to Weather Buster, and that takes off Ash. Even though it doesn't stop Veiler Imperm, just mitigating the amount of cards as possible that can respond against your win condition is really, really important. And I just think that summoning Chaos Ruler later in the combo to search for these extenders is really good, especially going for Levian or going for a hand rep. And is really, really makes the hand unbeatable. So I love these cards. I definitely think that this is the future of this deck. So played this is the target for Converging Wills. This card's also like probably one of the best cards in the deck. Target itself to add Collapse Serpent or Levianeer, or you can target Junk Synchron in the combo to search Doppel Warrior and to make the Cosmo Blazar. A level 1 extender that is not once per turn, that is also Warriors from Reserve with Rhoda is Boost Warrior. A common sought out target for going second, just because it is a blank in many respects, but going first is how you play through Disruption, which is really nice, and how you finish combo. 2 Doppel Warrior because it's broken and not once per turn. I don't really need a third because you can search it with Rotar. That's usually what I do. If I already have Doppel Warrior, I search Levianeer instead. Card's okay. I think it's a good discard target off of Chaos Space. It's good tuner extender off of Foolish Burial, because oftentimes with Foolish Burial, this card's effect is already used, like in a specific way where like you were stunned. So this card's fine. Definitely, I think in terms of the hierarchy of the deck, it's one of the most cuttable. A extender that I do see some people play is Calico Crow, and I think it's okay. It works well with Junk Synchron because it's a level 2 non-tuner. You summon Junk Synchron because it's a dark, you can summon this and make Junk Speeder. I think it's fine. I'd rather use Junk Converter, even though, because Junk Converter, when it activates from hand, first of all, it's Ash bait, so you can gamma that. And then Junk Converter chain block, so it helps against Ash. This card doesn't do either. Is a good extender, I guess, with going through combo, but it's hard once per turn, and I wanted to make the deck as consistent as possible, so I tried to minimize cards that had a hard once per turn clauses. So that's why I only play 1. 3 Veiler. It's a level 1 tuner. You can summon with 1 for 1. You can roll summon it with a Collapse Serpent or Wyver Buster to make TG. You can't make Jet Synchron, but you can do something. You can do a lot with this. You can just add it with Chaos Ruler, which I think is really good. 3 Gamma. Probably the biggest difference I made between Thursday and today is I thought about not playing Gamma because it doesn't help it with Junk Speeder. But I guess I thought about, yes, it doesn't stop Junk Speeder from being stopped, but Gamma comes up against, especially when people don't really know what this deck does, Gamma will come up against a lot of the cards that people like to Ash. So Chaos Space is one, Junk Converter is another, Droll is a card that's pretty common in this format, and I think I kind of underestimated how prevalent Droll was. And so because Droll is so good, this card's auto win. My Tri-Brigade opponent round 2, Standby Lancey me, I Gammaed him, I made Chaos Ruler, and ended his career. So that was eccentric. So great card. It's good going seconds. You have to have some going second options. And then probably also gas is 3 Eagle Booster, 1 Engage. You play Engage because it's 4th Eagle Booster. I have actually today, I was able to get enough spells in turn 1 to get enough spells to activate Engage and draw a card. And it's Ash bait. So it is broken because if the first thing you do is activate Engage, they might Ash it. And there's actually kind of justification for doing that because Engage is so strong. Eagle Booster is kind of what allows the card to resolve. I think it's particularly important because if you go the Junk Converter play, you summon this, activate it, it's in the extra monster zone. It'll help ensure that it resolves. That's part of the reason why you play it. It gets dead pretty quickly because you start filling up your board quickly, especially mid game. But because that first turn play is so important, I think it's a really cool tech that goes well. I'm thinking about playing other Skystriker cards, but for now, but since it plays deck so many cards, I actually don't know how many cards off my head this is. There's like over 50 though, so that's neat. Extender, searches, converter, or boost, or jet. Not jet. Junk Converter. Broken. This card's okay. It is okay. It sends Stardust Trail, Stardust Synchron, Plague Spreader. If you take out Plague Spreader, you can take this card out too. The problem with Stardust Synchron, the problem with this card is that Stardust Synchron's already pretty easy to get to. Drunk Converted gets it. Stardust Illumination, the normal spell gets to it too. It just kind of feels kind of limiting. I think one of the reasons why it feels limiting is because it's not a light or dark in hand, or it's not a monster or a tuner. So it doesn't work with chaos space, so it is cuttable. But I definitely think that if you play other things like Global Hedgehog, in the true spirit of Yusei, then this card becomes, I guess, a bit better. But for now, it's like it's kind of made. But I do play it, so it's neat because I do play Plague.
All right, is that it for the main deck?
Is it for me? I don't know how many cards it does off the top of my head.
It's like 50 plus.
It's like 50 plus. And actually part of the reason is because you don't want to draw Converging Will's Dragon, you don't want to draw Brotar, you don't want to really draw the Synchrons like Fleur and all that. So it's okay if you go above 40. Because I'm not really trying to... it's so easy to start the deck because you just need to Synchro level 5 with a Synchron tuner. And because of that, you can play 60 cards. I just don't because I don't know what other cards you play in addition to that. But the correct answer is not self-evident to be 40. Because there's so many like cards I don't want to draw. So, best card, best Synchro monster ever printed. I don't know what they were thinking, so here we are. He locks you into Synchros before and after. So as much as I want to play Hakuphai Rex, it doesn't let me do that. So that'd be a really cool thing with this deck is to Hulk first. You can set up your tuner play, but can't do that, so unfortunately. Shaman, another card that's kind of like Junk Speeder. I don't know how that card got printed either. I wouldn't be surprised if this card like is problematic someday. Because it summons as many level, it summons a bunch of level 4 lower non-tuners from your hand or grave. It's pretty silly. Formula because we're playing Yusei, Herald Training Gate, card that runs Crystal Wing, obvious card combo. Drunk Archer, you can play Drunk Warrior instead, it doesn't necessarily matter. I guess sometimes when I have a Wyver Burst or a Collapse Serpent and Drunk Synchron and I want to get Chaos Space to activate, to draw a card, I'll make Drunk Archer, and all can help break boards, but it doesn't really matter, it's such a niche kind of thing, so I think it's marginally better than Drunk Warrior, but the card's like $15, so it's like, doesn't necessarily matter. Crystal Wing, amazing Synchro monster. Stardust Dragon, unfortunately Stardust Dragon is not that good in this deck. The only reason why you would play Stardust Dragon is because Stardust Trail lets you summon a token when you use her as material. And Stardust Illumination can change a Stardust Synchro monster's level. So you can make the shooting Majestic easier if you summon Stardust Dragon, actual Stardust Dragon. But you don't necessarily need Stardust Dragon to resolve Converging Will's Dragon because you just need a level 8 Dragon Synchro. So I play these generally, but there's just like niche. So this is like the 15th to 14th card in Magic. This is like one of the most common cards, which is really sad because like it's pretty sad that the Yusei deck just struggles to play Stardust Dragon, but it has come up a lot. I almost summoned against my hero opponent because he had a Absolute Zero and a Plasma, and I almost like summoned Stardust Dragon against it. I was like, well, if you mass changes off the Absolute Zero, Stardust Dragon will stop the Graveyard effect from killing it, and then Plasma can't negate it because it trips itself for cost, so that would have been really, really funny. But I mean, you know, it's Stardust, you got to play it. But maybe one other card you can play over this is Omega. Seems to be played, but you put Garden Rose Maiden in deck. But once you're already summoning Garden Rose Maiden, activating the deck, you're winning anyway. Black Rose would be good because you can break boards with that. So I think Black Rose might be a really good choice. So you think about that. Level 10 Black Rose Dragon, that also kills. So Satellite Warrior is pretty good. Shooting Majestic, Wincon, and then Cosmic Blazar. As much as I would like to play actual Quasar in the spirit of Yusei, I have to play the manga version, only because it's marginally better. The main difference is that it banishes itself, and it can negate more things, and that's pretty good. So you play it. So pretty neat. Actually, it's pretty tight, so you don't really deviate much from that. So, and then the extra deck. Typically, I don't really play these combo decks. I kind of focus a lot more on like control. So I have an opportunity to play a lot of side deck cards I don't play historically. So I play the cards that are very tempo based. The cards are like high risk, high reward. They apply lingering long-term effects, and the reason is because this deck win or loses in a turn. And so because of that, cards like Bell, Crow, Ash, like those one cards, they just don't do enough. And plus you play such a big deck. If you draw one card, you want to draw like probably the most powerful hand drop possible, even though they're like these are the most specific hand drops possible. So this comes me against the Drytron, Alistair decks, Tri-Brigade, yeah, the field, I suppose. And then this helps me draw those cards because they're particularly important. It also helps, I guess, draws level 1, suppose they came up once. Pancratops helps me play through really annoying negate boards and also
spawn trap decks.
Yeah, trap decks. I negate floodgates with this a lot. Something that's really important. It helps me against like decks like Culture guys. Another card I don't play historically, but it's really good in this deck because you win or lose in a turn, and because you can't give up cards for Droplet generally, because you want to have as many cards in hand as possible. There aren't really that many cards that activate in the grave, and it doesn't really matter if your opponent won't die that turn because of the no damage things. You make an unbreakable board anyway. So Dark Ruler is really good. It is, I think, it's a better card than Droplet generally, but the biggest problem is that you have to be able to kill them or make an unbreakable board, and this deck fulfills the latter category. So I'll play that, and I play Evenly Match because it's really good against lots of things. I try to win or lose in a turn. You evenly match them. A lot of decks actually don't play counters to this, like Tri Brigade, and then it forces them to have a really bad board, and then you may phase 2 make an unbreakable board. So that's Synchro combo.
Synchro combo.
Chaos and Rocket. So yeah, Chaos, Rocket, Stardust Synchro would be the deck's name. Yeah.
So do you feel like you fulfilled your childhood dream of becoming Yusei?
I have become Yusei in real life.
Yusei in real life.
Going fast makes me feel alive.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's
Any
go.
shout outs?
Shout out to Team Zero, of course, always.
The boys.
For helping me panic build these crazy, silly decks at the last second. But it's off season right now, so it's really fun to like mess around with other stuff. So I really like it. Yep. Shout out to Will, Juan, Joel.
You already know, yeah.
The boys.
The boys.
Yeah, stay tuned for next time.
Stay tuned for the next crazy deck that Peter
crazy,
comes up.
Yeah, next crazy deck.
Yeah, maybe we'll have Steven just casually play test it.
Yes.
Our guinea pig.
Yeah, it's my guinea pig.
All right. Well, that concludes the deck profile. Thank you so much, Peter, for giving us your sauce, the spice, you know.